Got a little bit of attitude. Yeah, it's good. You know, I don't know. I can't really argue with anything.
No.
I got nothing to really challenge.
I did like what, you brought up, Prof. He's like, Device is like, it's not the worst day. That would be tomorrow. And
I love that.
So maybe it's even worse today, Jason. Last chance to make it through.
I know it could get much worse, especially considering this feels like such a coin toss. I think the desk highlighted it very well. Both these teams coming into this underperforming from what we expect, and especially when you consider, I mean, VP making the playoffs back in Katowice, they had that awkward stand-in situation. Flamus couldn't play in the playoffs. They had to bring in a sub. So, you know, but from there, they haven't made the playoffs. Astralis obviously have labored this whole year, but that previous event in Lisbon, the disaster that was is what allowed VP to overtank them in the rankings to take that spot in the second stage. And now Astralis has to play in the MRQ. Prof brought that up on the desk. It's a huge point for Astralis where on some level there's a grudge match in this. There's some level where Astralis is just saying, we want to prove we're actually the better team because you snatched that spot from beneath us. And now we've got to labor through this really, really tough MRQ. So just a very important match for pride for Astralis.
And Dust has got me very excited for this Dust too. So let's lock in.
Yeah, you in for some annoying Counter-Strike today?
Enjoy this one. CadiaN out towards CT spawn. Flamus already walking through the double doors. And CadiaN gonna body block that smoke, just offset it slightly and try and delay them with a flash. Decent work done from CadiaN in terms of delaying them, and they're gonna actually fall back away from it. It'll leave Electronic in the cubby and everybody else going back to the tunnels.
Yeah, he actually does a great job of scaring them away. So funnels Virtus.pro away from their initial plan, which is that mid to B split. And now it's just about busting out of the halls. But Yabi at back plat, Device with dualies over at car. This can be a very strong setup. If Yabi can take 1 or 2 down and take the teeth out of the attack, they have a chance to hold on.
Yeah, he lies away to the back of the platform. There goes the first pick. CadiaN coming in as well. A Device hasn't even connected a kill yet, but eventually should, and he'll get one from the back of the car. But Electronic making his last-ditch effort through middle. His teammate already inside of the site. Icy can get that bomb plant, and Electronic has 2 extremely low CTs towards him, and Icy actually got both.
Yeah, nice little peek from Windows supporting Electronic. Knew he was going to be in a tough situation. Man, I feel like Yabi could have taken way more fights when they're deeper in halls. He kind of hid under that box waiting for a flashbang, CadiaN's calling it, but it just took so long to come in that they're actually, despite the fact that you have a CT back plat, they're not being harassed in those tunnels at all until they're already swinging wide into the bomb site. I feel like Yabi maybe spotted them like 2 or 3 seconds on that execute, just waiting for the flashbang. So 1-0 for VP. They get started with the pistol, and we have some mid-aggression from old Deve. He's going to back off after a miss up towards Xbox, and a good control of the middle of the map, and VP want nothing to do with it.
But they want everything to do with the B-bomb site, and they go out in towards it. There's no defenders in this position. Yeah, now with a double scout setup, 2 MP9s, 5.7s, gotta be a save here for Astralis, right? Or
yeah, it should be. I mean, they're going to investigate if they can find a kill, just something cheeky. I think they heard the footsteps back towards T-spawn, so they realize there's one player who's like kind of cut off from the action, and that might be an advantage they want to try and exploit. Yabi not able to complete the kill, and now I think your kind of moment of opportunity has passed.
Well, they're now committed into the tunnels.
They need to make a decision if they're going to bail out now, because you have to make the call to save at this very moment.
Yeah, you can't go towards Electronics. You have to go through the lower tunnels. And he'll get that information, so he can call Fame to go watch him mid, realizing that's where they're going to have to be saving. And because of the late decision to back away, they're now in danger's way inside of mid.
A little bit awkward.
It's okay.
Yeah.
They've kept everybody up.
I mean, both teams were like, okay, stalemate. But, like, no more.
No one has to die.
Nobody wants to fight. Let's all just live and play again. So round 3 comes in.
That was one of the rounds of Counter-Strike, Jason.
Yeah, it was. Astralis just going to replay the buy. A couple MP9s, couple scouts. It makes sense, too, with the scouts. And we obviously know Astralis, from what we've seen on Dust 2 so far, pretty reliant on that double op setup once we get into the gun rounds. And that'll be the question of, can they build up enough money with which to afford the double op setup?
Well, quickly into the tunnels with 4 here for Virtus.pro. They'll leave Electronic just to lurk outside the long doors. I think people, in particular at this event, have perhaps noticed VP slowing down a little bit more in their play style. More reminiscent of the days of Jane, perhaps, but has definitely been a slower approach from VP at this tournament.
There's a couple changes and new factors to them as well. While they've mixed some new things in, even if they've gone back a little bit to some of the old stuff that worked also. For the moment, just gonna wait. All 4 players in upper. Astralis has control of long. CadiaN's in middle, just challenging with the scout. Still no information for VP about the long play, so they just start walking into B. Contact style.
Oh, pops up. And I thought he would have landed a shot there. He's very close to it. Fando coming in and cleaning up the B bomb site defense. Electronic has pushed through the mid doors to cut off that safe rotation from Astralis.
All right, 3 rounds to the B bomb site to open up this this series between these 2 teams. First series of the day here at PGL Bucharest. It's a 2-2 matchup. So losing team is eliminated. Winning team finds a spot in the playoffs. Everything on the line for these 2 teams today, and obviously for Astralis, last chance to build up a little bit of a good feeling and confidence heading into the MRQ that they'll be playing next week so that they can attempt to qualify for the major. They've missed 4. Every major since Antwerp they have been absent from. They'd like to change that trend this time around.
Otherwise, they will have missed more majors in a row than they've won.
That's a fair point. That's one of those stats that like sounds kind of bad and embarrassing, but you only really get to say that stat about the teams that have had great success. You know?
Yeah, no, but I think it's a great way of contrasting the success they had in the past versus the recent failure, and just how no other team really at this level who's achieved what they've achieved have had as weak of major performances since 2022, right?
Yeah, it's been a struggle for this team to get back to the top. The COVID, the online era really ruined them, that whole
Despite
breakup
making
process.
the moves, it feels like they should, right? They bring Device back.
Yeah, but I mean, if you remember though too, like, I mean, they missed some critical moves in there when the Heroic team was on the rise, when Copenhagen Wolves...
it feels like they made the moves at the wrong time.
Copenhagen Flames were making those runs. I mean, they missed a lot of the young talent as well that was coming up, trying to hold on to some of the old talent for maybe a little bit too long, and now they just haven't been able to find the right solution in terms of the roster. Flamis gets picked off, so a 5-on-4 for the Astralis defense, and now they get to play things a little more conservative with this boost up out towards long. One more pick to give them a 2-man advantage would be a lovely thing to find for Device.
Yeah, Yappy being in this early position in the tunnels is huge information for Astralis to work with. It'll be the early warning system as VP come back to B. And CadiaN's getting more information for his squad as he pushes up top middle. So it's on Yappy. And I don't know if VP are going to be ready for him in this position. So should be at least able to get one. And they line up, in fact. They're going to block each other. And Fame walks in front of Electronic, eclipsing his vision. And Yappy still standing. Throws utility down, gets his gun out, and a second kill is massive from Yappy. It's down now, applying pressure to Flit, who collects that bomb again. But Device is rotated over. He'll watch in the doors. In fact, he'll climb to the window. Just spots the back of Flit. The timing every second here for Device is a little unfortunate. He'll connect his shot, not enough damage to bring Flit down, and in fact, he still gets away even from the flames. So Icy on the other side of the map, 25 seconds for that bomb to make a beeline.
I don't think he can get around. I mean, I think it's just going to end up saving, but Icy certainly wants a pick. And yeah, Flit's just kind of lollygagging in T-spawn, so he's just going to sit back, save the AK-47, same with the AWP. One good find at the end for Icy, but overall, solid defense for Astralis, and they just controlled the map from the get-go. They had mid control the entire time on Catwalk, on Xbox, no presence from VP. They had B control, upper dark control, no presence from Virtus.pro until very, very late, obviously. And it even allowed for a crossfire to be set up. With Yabi like isolated in that advanced early warning position, you still had Stown who could just kind of shift over from Xbox control to lower and set up a really strong crossfire. So VP can't let Astralis' defense have control of the map like that too frequently in this half, or else it's going to be tough. I know the picture that was painted was that Astralis' Dust 2 is pretty rough, but even they are going to find it hard to lose rounds where they know everything that's happening on the map, so VP have to be cautious about that. Fist bumps are out. Timeout's coming to a close. First one for Astralis. That's a fancy fist bump as well.
Secret handshake.
You know they're feeling it when it gets fancy.
Yeah, true. Having a good time. Early in the morning. Vibes are flowing.
I mean, it's 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it's early in the morning for gamers, Jason. I know you're a real adult nowadays, but...
Yeah, it's a shame.
I'm sure 10 a.m. felt early when you were 20 years old.
Yeah, it did. That's fair, especially after not a Counter-Strike. Tagged up is Yabby on the cross. Good shot from Icy. CadiaN's gonna push lower. Yabby with low HP chooses not to go into the B bomb site. Deploys the utility first. And once again, an emphasis towards B for Virtus.pro. 3 players in upper dark. They're gonna come down, clear lower, and establish some catwalk and Xbox presence of their own. Flamus leading the way for VP. It's Flit watching for long pushes and electronic. Throwing utility from Suicide and watching for pushes.
Just taking their time. We now hit 1 minute on the clock as that CT smoke is deployed. Long push being set up here for Astralis. Flit is still waiting for it. He's going to get his reward for his patience as the low HP Yabby steps into the open. Stare trying to make sure there's a bit of a gap between his possible follow-up, but Flit seems to be very aware of that. Throws the Molotov in, and so Stare has to relinquish control of Longhouse, and Flit is doing his job very effectively.
Yeah, he's doing great. He's done lovely work. So that's great information as well. He's calling out there's one more over towards Long. However, there's still 3 defenders for Astralis at this bomb site, so VP could get caught off guard.
Down waiting on the ramp. Device blinded at the corner. He'll go into the open. Fantastic pick on the Flammer. Seconds even better from Device. And that's the round done. No time for VP to recover this.
Yeah, that's an odd round. I mean, VP just like stopped at the corner. They encountered one player at railing, a little piece of utility, and just nobody scaled. Nobody kept moving forward, and you're just kind of sat out in the open, susceptible to every Device repeak with the AWP. A weird round with the way it played out. Obviously, they would have loved to have had the utility of the smokes to be able to make that run a little bit safer, but just straight up, everybody kind of quitting on the attack.
It seems like for Virtus.pro, it's a style that they had in the past too, where it feels like there's so many steps they have to take to get to where they want to go. But if one of those steps fails, or a couple of them fail, there's just nowhere to go because they either don't have time or the idea just breaks down completely.
Sure.
And they just stall out.
Yeah, it feels like they do try and play a very smart, outsmarting style of Counter-Strike, and sometimes that they get lost in it a little bit. Round 6.
I'm sure it's quite difficult for a player like Flamus to adapt to.
Hey, they've simplified it now.
He goes up to the front, yeah.
Let's just march up catwalk. Here we go. Oh, the lower part of the totem pole is knocked down, so Device feeling nervous with the AWP. He's going to come back. Missed shot from Icy, and Device just gets lost in the chaos.
He doesn't take a shot. He just his gun jammed. Well, it's Stare going to be sitting down. Ooh, sees the heads, and eventually gets 1 kill, but traded back by Flit.
Yeah,
more of an acceleration from VP.
That's a weird look from Device. I don't really know what happened.
He's like, he got overwhelmed. There's so many targets.
I know, it's like sensory overload. His body just refused to respond and react.
That's more like it from VP. We're going short.
Yeah,
we're just gonna get headshots.
Yeah, we're just gonna trade. Nothing special, nothing crazy.
5-0 from Icy.
Yeah, it's a good start. He's been able to save. Hasn't had a whole lot of impact yet with any kind of crazy kills that open things up, but just has delivered some good shots when called upon.
Yeah, pistol round, probably his biggest moment.
Yeah.
But VP do not let that scoreline get tied up. They extend their lead. Astralis saved 2 players, and they've still got plenty of money on Device to get the AWP out again. Hopefully this one works.
Hopefully. Well, actually, they could also switch into the double op if they wanted to. CadiaN could drop that.
Definitely something they've been doing.
Yeah, CadiaN can drop that M4 over and get a second op if they choose to. I mean, part of the struggle with that round is nobody from middle is spotting any kind of catwalk play from VP. There's no information on how fast they were scaling up cat. That boost just gets destroyed before it's even truly, set up and deployed. So 4-2. Up on Device out towards Long, and he misses. The shot goes down to Flit.
Yeah, Flit with the opener. Here's CadiaN to try and respond to the top mid push, but Flamus just swings him. Important for Astralis that this down was on short. Doesn't equalize the numbers, but certainly keeps it within touching distance. Here goes Stare out from the CT peak into the long fight. And now the numbers are even. And VP will take that, and they'll slow down. They've got 1:20. They're fully committed out long. Astralis are going to drop players back. They haven't confirmed the remaining spots of all 3 players in VP. And so they play behind the smokes, giving Virtus.pro access to the A bomb site while Astralis try to reposition up to short. So there's going to be a plant situation going down in just a second here, which will leave Astralis in a 3v3 retake.
Yes, it will, and 2 players coming out towards long. Do they want to swing and double up on this fight from Icy, or they want to try and bait and switch with a 1-for-1 with a lurk? They're both going to come out. Good flashbang. Icy's in trouble.
They had a chance there before the flash pop, just couldn't connect the shot, but stays alive. There's the peak. Icy with 2 kills before falling to Yabby. Quick shots on the sniper. Here goes Yabby to try and win it 1v2. Electronic can then fame, but it's VP to extend their lead to 5-2.
That's so nice from Icy. The second kill is incredible. The fact that he gets that out. Good counter flashes from VP as well, holding that turn of the corner out towards long at bay as long as humanly possible. This is how it began. Flam is doing some good work in a 1-for-1, but it's Icy. This second kill, last second.
Oh, it's so good.
Stair just barely seems like he gets around the wall, but Icy catches him. And a big round for VP as they reset and decimate the Astralis economy. Now the runway's open for them to really blow up the scoreboard.
There's a great pick from Flit as well. Got the long spawn, ran out, and as if they needed an advantage, but they've got it. Flamus bringing the energy. Super important round here for VP's T-side campaign. Up next is Train, and the analysts were enjoying the fact that this map was coming through. It's not necessarily a fantastic map for either side, but Astralis feeling like it's worth the risk to throw it into this series here.
Yeah, a team that's still developing their map pool as well. Might be a map that's going very well for them in practice so far. That'll be a fun one to watch as we're still kind of enjoying seeing how Train is going to settle down and be played. Odd timing for Stair as he pulls out some utility. Smoke actually probably helps VP after it drops from his dead body. It's going to be 6-2. Device, CadiaN, and Yabby, you have some upgraded pistols. CadiaN's got armor, but it's not a big deal. You're not going to be too concerned about saving it, but a weapon at the end of the day would be nice. But now we see truly, with the losing bonus built up, with some money, with some residual cash for Astralis for that losing bonus to build off of, they'll have the money for the double op if they want it. Are they switching into it now? We have to expect it's going to come out at some point in this half, and now that they're feeling like they're getting beat across the map, this is back-to-back rounds. We've seen a long pick out of Flit. Might be time to make the switch. See what CadiaN and Device can do for you.
Obviously, being here in the 2-2 matchup, you will have had a lot of reps at the tournament. Astralis' record started with a win versus FaZe. A pretty impressive result for them to take down FaZe. Both teams looking relatively weak, but still a result you can be happy with. They went on to lose the 3D Max, but that 2-0 loss against Apogee, that's
the eternal problem with Astralis is you're like, oh, cool, win over FaZe, nice, like an upset. That team's got some good players. You performed really well, and then you lose to Apogee 2 days later, and everyone's like, I don't know how to read. I don't know where I'm supposed to place you. Yeah. What are we doing here? Yeah.
It's hard to really get a read on them.
The up and down nature and the inconsistency of both of these teams makes them really hard to kind of evaluate, especially because both of them have shown some signs of where you're looking at it and you're like, oh, this is cool. This is positive.
Getting better.
Especially that Astralis series over phase was, I remember casting that and talking about how good the calling looked from CadiaN as well on the T sides. I thought they were doing some cool things, shades of old school heroic.
And VP, they had us at the start of the year, man. They were looking really exciting to watch. They were certainly having some positive steps.
I feel like I was a little bit of a VP hater last year. This year I'm like the other direction. At the start I was like, oh, the eye test, it makes this team should be so fun to watch. It's going to be so cool. Yeah. And then it hasn't delivered the same way. Hopefully both of these teams can find those levels at some point during this series to qualify for the playoffs here at Bucharest.
Oh, through the smoke. Oh, Flamus, that is ridiculous. Astralis come into this round after waiting for another bye. and immediately it gets destroyed.
We're seeing a lot of teams do this now, is like kind of mess with their utility timings. I mean, this one is just kind of walking through your own smoke, so it's a little bit crazy, but you can see part of what allows them to take advantage of it is you see that smoke, and CadiaN's thinking it's a smoke for Catwalk. He's going to break it open to get information, maybe find a fight, and actually the push coming through it is just the complete opposite of what he expects based on the utility.
Yeah, I mean, that second shot from Flamus is also just nuts.
Yeah, the transfer is pretty nasty.
Yeah, well, that's what I like. This VP team do have a lot of options in terms of how they can play rounds, though, because of the pieces they've now got inside of the squad. Like, you can just send Flamus in. There's 2 rounds so far on this T side where they've just sent him up short early. He's got the entry, and then this round, he just wins it from his mid-push through the smoke. So you have chances to do that. Now, Device is under so much pressure. He's doing well, but eventually just too many players coming at him. He just can't hold on to the AWP.
That's a hard round to swallow if you're... Hard round to swallow if you... What was that? Was that just like a whale call or something?
Yeah.
It's a tough round for Astralis when you consider they just kind of had saved round previously. They had that losing bonus. It was the strongest buy they'd had in quite some time. And you just don't even get a chance to fight for the round based off that opening from Flamus. It's just done after the 2 kills. 5-round deficit for Astralis' defense. VP really piling it on, and another pick. This one down middle.
Tough half here for CadiaN so far. Aggression up top mid. They've got a dink on Icy. And Flit has been cast aside by the MP9. Fortunately for Icy, he's got plenty of bodyguards. Electronic immediately replaces Flit. Fame's already moved through the B-bomb site. He's got all the space in the world, but he's hoping to help his teammates from behind.
Yeah, they've gone passive just to watch for pushes. Icy's very low on HP, so they're letting Fame play right now and get close so he can wrap through these double doors and try and take away some of this pressure from them. Actually, a very nice push from Astralis, considering they lost the first player. Yeah, he's spotted now, but he's safe. What's kind of a little weird for VP is obviously how they work the rest of the 2 players, where they go on the map. They haven't seen the second player yet. Now they will. And now they know everything, so out towards long with the bomb. Plant at the A bomb site, it's all good.
10-1 on Icy, man. This is a sick half from him. To think Icy came from Amcal. What a journey.
Yeah. The saving grace. The saving grace of that series, yeah. And I mean, he hasn't had to do a whole lot in this game, right? Like, you just, I mean, that's a nice pick in this round, but other than that, it's a lot of the entries, a lot of the opening moves. Flit's got you a couple picks. Flamus had that double kill to open a round, so Icy as an AWPer is just loving it because his riflers are forcing the defense to move around the map and shift. So he's actually getting some looks in the mid round and the late round because Astralis is scrambling to try and plug the holes in their defense. 6-round lead now for Virtus.pro. 3 ops for the T side to open things up.
Yeah. None of them getting a shot, though. None down mid.
What the hell? Flitz dropped his.
He's kind of flexing a different move. And it hasn't worked out. In fact, that's a very expensive decision. Yabi and Device, 2 opening kills here for Astralis. Should be able to convert this into their 3rd-round victory.
Yeah, this should be all fine. They can play a pretty standard defense at this point.
They were going for the old Fnatic style of play through top mid.
Oh, they had an op to like pick mid. I think one had the long spawn that he went for. Yeah, I mean, they had a couple different options with it and just trying to find an early pick with the ops. You had so much money with only 2 rounds remaining. So just trying to hopefully find Astralis checking for something with those AWPs, maybe thinking they're going to switch into an aggressive idea with the scoreline.
Turns out to be one of the best rounds Astralis have had yet. Fame is left alone, making his way through middle. And bang from Device.
Yeah, right between the eyes. Good shooting from Device, 11 and 5. He had those 3 garbage kills in a lost round, but his op has looked solid when it's had its opportunities. Finally, last round of the first half, we get the double op setup from Astralis that we've alluded to so many times. CadiaN's picked one up next to Device, so expect that to be in the B middle side of the map. Device will be playing A. And can Astralis scrape 4 rounds together? Give him the best chance possible.
Virtus.pro's stand-back approach allows them to dodge the initial utility. And he'll go through that initial phase and then MongolZ close short, smoke the mid doors, and group up a B. Now, we've seen a lot of early B success for Virtus.pro. They're going to try and close the half the way they open with a B hit this time towards CadiaN. Didn't see the player just crossing down behind that smoke, and now the head shows, but no kill. And so CadiaN's under a lot of pressure to round out this half. What a shot from Fame. He got that kill on Yabi. Quick shot from CadiaN, under pressure, gone. And now Electronic on low HP. Device mollied out at the window, but not enough yet for Astralis. He hit that shot. So many wild moments in this round, but Astralis not catching a break. Damage is not enough.
Yeah, they don't have any HE grenades to really finish those off quickly. A couple Molotovs. Stound can place his to the back of the platform. That would flush out Icy. That would make things really awkward for him at low HP. But a tough retake despite the low health on Icy and Electronic. And with utility still up, with the kind of nice, easy tactic VP ran, they got plenty of smokes to drop in the choke points after the fact.
Stair waiting to peek. Good kill off the back of the platform. Needs a second quickly. He'll get it, but traded by Flit. Device alone, and the rifle in his hands. It's not enough. Electronic closes, tucked down beneath the window.
Actually, a nice attempt at the retake. That comes very, very close. 1v1. Device had a chance at it. Hard to figure out where Electronic's going to be. Stayed quiet throughout that whole engagement. A very rough CT side for Astralis. Obviously, 9-3 in the favor of Virtus.pro. They couldn't get anything going in this first map of the series. Electronic had that T-side cooking, helped out by some great rounds, some great picks from Flit. A lovely half from Icy at 10-3.
Yeah, a little patch of success for Astralis after the initial 3 lost rounds, but as soon as VP decided to free up Flamus a little bit, he got 2 rounds where he just had basically the entry won the round. He got the 2 kills in mid, then the short pick. You know, he's just that's the key to success.
It was an odd half of Counter-Strike in the sense that it didn't feel like there were a whole lot of close rounds that came down to like 1v1s, 2v2s. A lot of it was just kind of like, we win this round, and you win this next round, and then we win a bunch of rounds.
And then VP by 3 ops.
Yeah.
They lose that round.
They did. Didn't need to do that.
But I appreciate it.
Yeah, you got to admire the effort.
Still 9-3 at the half.
Yeah, smoke flash for Electronic.
If they win this pistol round, might be a very short dust too.
Yeah, it could be. It could close out very, very quickly. Flashbang out towards long for Astralis' attack. They're going to get that space. It's only one player. It's Flamus. And with that information that they're already out long and here in the footsteps, you can see the push-up catwalk from Flit. Electronic and Fame starting to get a little bit more curious over at the B bomb site, but still just the one defender here. So Flamus is going to have to call teammates over, and they're going to be late because Astralis has just picked up the pace.
Yeah, he realizes that. He wanted to jump up, but they're already on the site. Long flanks quick here for Flit. He activates into a single kill. And he'll just take a pause and allow his teammates to reposition. He'll become a later piece.
Yeah, he'll become a late lurk. Stair didn't seem prepared for that fight whatsoever. Okay, well, there's footsteps in CT spawn. Now, CadiaN's going to try and wrap all the way around Catwalk, but they can hear this the whole way. He still wins the fight, and now they come in for the retake.
Dude, I love that from CadiaN. Just running around, jumping, but Fame now getting in. Couple of headshots. CadiaN coming up through short side. Yabi's trying to deal with Flit at long, and he's going to go into that fight, but the defuse is happening. Kill from Yabi. Defuse all the way. Fame's low in HP, but he's sticking it. He's got protection. 1 bullet saves it. So a nice attempt on the defuse, but the full 10-second stick will allow Astralis the pistol.
So painful with that 10-second stick coming in. Yeah, that flank from CadiaN ends up working out very, very well.
Dude, that's like a 50-50 at most.
I know. I felt like Icy he's got to be frustrated. He's probably tracking him the whole way, and he's like, this will be the easiest kill of my life. But CadiaN just swings it. And I mean, for Virtus.pro, it's kind of a bummer in the sense that with that kill out towards long, you had really good standing in this round. You had a really good situation. Device kind of, with the way that Astralis like improvised and dropped into CT spawn, Device over at Car kind of gets the bus thrown at him. He just has no more cover to prevent anyone. That's a nice sequence.
One of the fastest aces I've seen.
All 5.
That is one of the fastest aces I have seen in a long time.
God damn, CadiaN. He's rich now. 6,200 in the bank.
1 mag in the Mac 10.
You don't get that every day. That's kind of the way you imagine and dream it.
Yeah, exactly. Just a conveyor belt straight in towards him. Well, in terms of fast rounds, that is That's one.
We like those eco rounds. That's the eco round we enjoy.
Bringing us the entertainment value, getting into the real round straight away, and it's down. Kicking things off with an opening kill for Astralis.
Which is actually huge when you consider that Virtus.pro started with 4 players out towards long. They obviously put a lot of resources there with the express goal of controlling long, of getting control of long, and that kill just comes out so quick they don't want to mess with it. 5-on-4 for Astralis. And Device has found himself an upgrade.
Little hot rod. Ooh. Some damage done. But Electronic gets away with it. Device trying to sell a little bit more presence than is really there, and Astralis is going to be sending 4 players up through short.
I think Device has done a really good job just because, ooh, missed smoke in middle for VP, but, or I mean for Astralis, it's all good. They're coming up catwalk. We'll finish that thought later. Good kill. That's the round.
That's the round. You can finish the thought now.
Yeah, I can. I think Device did a good job. I think it was relatively obvious to VP that it was just one player causing a distraction with the way he was shooting and the way he was firing and jumping around and playing behind the smoke. I think they could tell it was one person trying to like puff up his chest and sound like 3 people. And that might have been what caused that shift towards CT spawn that just creates the perfect timing for a catwalk play. 6-9.
That is the funny number. Save call should be okay here for VP. They're still a decent way away from Astralis. In terms of finding the comeback, Astralis taking all the right steps at the start of the second half. Icy holding on to the save is super important here. Device actually got 1 extra kill. Can Icy hold on? No! Oh, losing 2 players at the end. That is a problem.
Yeah, this Astralis offense is warming up really nicely. I mentioned it earlier. There was shades throughout this group stage where Astralis' calling and T-sides through CadiaN have looked really, really sharp. Notably the first day against FaZe, playing some really, really cool Counter-Strike. So let's not count them out of this comeback. They're only 3 rounds back. They've taken a bunch of weapons away at the end of the round, so VP can't buy up and have any kind of forceful buy around 3 saved rifles.
Yeah, those hunts are so important. You know, this would have been a buy for VP. You find a success right at the end there. If you're Astralis, is huge. It allows you to get up to 7 rounds most likely.
Yeah, give yourself an easier round too against a lack of weapons. And it's nice too. You have Device playing well, still 13-7. Yabby starting to climb that scoreboard as well. And Yabby, we know, can be such a force for this Astralis team. Would be great to have a strong performance out of him in this elimination or playoff series.
Oh, leg shot. Fang gonna get caught through the wall bang. He's down to 9 HP. Stound's turn to move on forward. Gets himself out into the pit. Long range fight in the CT peak. Not gonna get the kill, but certainly going to scare Flamus further back.
Looking to burn some counter utility, Astralis, I think. There's one of the flashes, so they love hearing that sound cue. Still another flash up on catwalk to set up again later on. Icy's got that in his hands. He's also got a defensive smoke he can deploy, a Molotov over on Flit, but they never expected this. Juggling utility and no one keeping track of the scaling. So Stound gets 2 kills, brings himself up to 5 frags on the map, and the bomb site is wide open.
Whoop. Mac 10 into fame, and Flit is going to find Yabby with ease. Bomb plant goes through, and Flit's going to try and retreat to save that M4 again. Ooh, just about gets around the corner. Really impressive how quickly Astralis have drawn this scoreline back.
Yeah, good old MR12. These scorelines shrink quick.
Yeah, if you keep it clean. You know, there's a lot of booby traps along the way. You know, you could lose these pistols, you could lose to a half buy, but Astralis have kept it clean. And they've got a lot of money. You know, look how much cash they've got left over on a couple of these individual players.
Yeah, and I mean, starting with building momentum with the first 4 rounds of the half as well, and I think CadiaN's an IGL who loves calling with momentum. I think he, as a caller, as a leader, I think he gets much better as his team is stringing rounds together.
Yeah, getting into the flow.
Yeah, it's kind of his thing that he likes to get into. Not always not the most detailed ideas, but you know, very much off his intuition and his feel. And when they get going in the groove, it's to great effect as well. 9-7, it's a 2-round deficit. Astralis bringing this all the way back, but Virtus.pro have another buy. Up in the hands of Icy. All rifles, plenty of utility. 3 out towards long to start, 2 crossing over to the B bomb site. And Stown, I mean, doing a good job having presence at long. Breaking the smoke, flashing out, showing presence, going for a little jiggle tap, keeping defenders at long as possible, and it's given Astralis a lot of freedom to get up towards catwalk. Haven't been harassed from middle whatsoever. Icy's all positioned at car between long A and the bomb site. And Virtus.pro's defense now spread in a 2-1-2 setup. Electronic and CT spawn to keep the mid to B split honest.
Yeah, B going through the CT smoke. Has he just found the gap? Well, Electronic currently holding it for the moment, and the patience from Electronic, he's very aware of this possibility, and look at that. He was so focused on getting that pick on Yabi. 35 seconds left. Astralis moving to the site. They've got a 4v4. The plant is coming in, and it comes down to the retake here for VP.
And they're going to risk a lot for this. Icy with the op, still out towards long, though. Good shot from Fame, and now it can begin, but Icy hasn't started scaling yet.
Stair keeps his head down, but he's blinded. Peeks on up. It's going to be CadiaN and Stair combining with Stown, leaving Icy 1v2. No kit on his back. And he realizes not much of a chance, so he's going to actually not even go for this. Run back down long, and Astralis have now got 8 rounds. There was a kit down as well. Gotta feel like there was a small window of opportunity there, at least for Icy to give it a go, but realizes the AWP is more important to keep for the later stages.
I was gonna say, you know VP, and that's probably one philosophy that's still stuck around, is the importance of keeping that AWP alive and the importance of having it as part of the economy, because they can buy again in this next round. Flit and Flamus right around 5,400, so both of them can buy themselves. Electronic can invest himself. Icy can drop to Fame if he wants. And VP's going to come right back into this, but I mean, they've had strong buys throughout this whole half, haven't been able to get a win, haven't been able to slow Astralis down whatsoever. They're starting to get really worked on this map.
Quick out from Stown at long. Commitment in behind the blue bin. Stown looking to tap. He's got Device charging with him into the corner. Device is sacrificial. Stown to respawn. Now Electronic elevated on the platform, spotted. Bullets rattle towards him. He can't handle that pressure. And now we looked at this AWP that was saved in the previous round. Icy needs to find impact.
I'm surprised he didn't see Stown's head. I thought he would just spam him down through the smoke. Such low HP. Gonna go for some reaggress, but CadiaN is holding this. Oh, if you turn that corner, Icy doesn't have a flashbang for you either.
Doesn't look like they want to go yet.
Who blinks first in the standoff? They've even got boosted up behind the blue box, so Astralis wants to stay long. Stair's just keeping an eye on the flank, but they always want to finish at long A.
Mid-smoke coming in to sever off the information flow to Fame as he peeks towards. And so they're going to rotate, flit away from long. He's gone back down towards CT, leaving Icy at the car to watch long.
He'll have a chance. We mentioned he's having a good game, but his kills haven't felt like they've had the most impact in terms of winning the rounds, but he's going to have a chance here.
And he'll nail that shot on Stown. That was the all peeking it towards him. Second kill for Icy. This is huge. He's going to freeze them out along 25 seconds. The Astralis held in position. Icy gets another chance and another shot. 20 seconds. Stair's got to move. Flits inside of that CT smoke. Stair seems to be aware, but did not see a barrel tip through that smoke at all. So Flit has got the flank at the perfect timing. He's starting to move forward, but there's a long peek coming in. And Flit with patience he'll peek out for a double-figure round here for VP.
Oh, there you go, Icy. That's a huge round to deliver for your team. Virtus.pro needed that. 3 versus 4, and Icy takes 3 of them out with him. Beautiful from the AWPer. And Astralis, after a solid opening and good map control and a good take of out towards long, the patience is their undoing. Turning that corner and not enough utility to negate Icy's position with the AWP. Not enough flashbangs to keep him off the angle, and you lose too many players. Lead back to 2, 10-8. And economy's starting to be an issue for both teams. I mean, it feels like if either one of these teams gets reset and completely broken in terms of their funding, they're in a lot of trouble. Surely if Astralis happens at 10 rounds for VP, that might just be a win.
Dude, this is the worst. When you miss this smoke, and then you have to stand here and you can't see your lineup as well. Oh, just waste some time for CadiaN, but all good now. It's faded away.
What did he do? Like accidentally like right-click?
He must have done that, yeah. Just drop his own smoke. He'll toss the smoke out into a CT spawn.
I think there's another missed smoke. Yeah, I think they tried. I think both of those smokes missed. Now CT smoke is there.
Not great though. It's a little, looks like there's a little gap on the left side, but
seems like they wanted. Yeah, there's a massive gap. So yeah, both smokes missed, and they wasted one on the initial throw. So a really rough round.
Back
of
to the
utility.
drawing board with that one. And they've also lost their first pick. So VP teed up for 11 rounds here. Flamus though going down to the smoke. That's one way to get a kill back if you're Astralis. CadiaN gonna have to deal with the tunnels push eventually coming his way. Fame knocks him on his ass in from behind. 25 seconds. Astralis still committed to their final long play. VP with no one in the sight, but it's the electronic flank around the back, and Device gets caught, hands busy. Stare and Stown still fighting on.
Dude.
And so it's Flit 1v2. Those final 2 kills have put Astralis back into a winning position, and a flick down from Stown. Fantastic reaction. And Astralis able to turn this round in their favor despite it looking miserable throughout.
You know, it's the beauty of Counter-Strike. Sometimes you can do everything right and still lose the round, and sometimes you can do everything wrong and still win the round. That's lovely from Astralis. Outside of the utility usage, outside of the 3 missed smokes in that round alone.
Yeah, outside of all of that wasn't lovely. It was still lovely.
Yeah, you need to work on maybe coordination, utility usage, but the aim, it seems like you've got down. Nicely done from Astralis.
You know that meme with the horse that starts off like perfectly painted, and then you get towards the end, it just falls off?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the opposite way around.
It just started ugly and got better as we went.
They had a glow up in that round.
Well, it's Astralis to break the economy of Virtus.pro. It's not going to give them the map win, but it's certainly going to get them a great advantage to tie things up at 10. Half investment from Virtus.pro, upgraded pistols, FAMAS MP9. Really nice round from Stare.
Oh man, he looks so stressed.
He did look actually very sad. I felt bad watching that. I'm feeling something. I got some empathy.
Dude. Poor Icy.
I know, he looked like that kill meant so much to him. Good molly to force Flit back. Takes tons of damage. Mid to B smoke from CadiaN. But the forces are going to come out of B tunnels. All 4 of them. Another missed piece of utility. The Molotov meant to be thrown up onto the boost boxes. Lands right back in the tunnels.
Astralis about to tie up the scoreline. It was 9-3 in the first half. VP have won a single round on the defense. Both teams struggling so hard with CT sides. Keeps up like this, Astralis about to find themselves a Dust 2 victory out of nowhere, really.
Yeah, especially after that first half. It didn't seem like it was even going to be remotely possible. But again, this offense has just been striking gold round after round. Electronic's going to try and pin Yabby into the tunnels. That's a beautiful shot, though. 16 kills now for Yabby to lead the way for Astralis. And they're tied up at 10. A 3-9 half, but a 7-1 run to start the second half.
This will be mentally shattering for VP. Your map pick. 9 rounds to 3. Seems like everything's gonna go smoothly. Second half is a disaster. So they gotta try and change that now. He's got the AWP for Icy back in his hands. 3 M4s, 1 for Mass on Flamus. No long fight this time from Astralis. No fights anywhere for Astralis.
No, and actually, I mean, the last round you could tell they kind of called that at a spawn for the most part. This round obviously opening up in a default, so just going to start taking some control in middle and see what they find. No one home in middle to defend for Virtus.pro. It's Fame and Flit inside the B bomb site. Icy at the railing with an AWP. Electronic out towards long. Flamus at the corner. Meanwhile, Astralis is out middle where you'll notice I said no defenders are present.
Fame hides in the car. It's Flit with a double from the window, but Fame's going to lose his life, so now the pressure really is on Flit, about to get split. And he'll wait at the site, but it's all about this shot, and Stair comes in from window. Back of the head. Icy with an important kill, keeping his team ahead in the player count, but Device could trade it back. Device could immediately trade it back, but doesn't want to overextend out of the window.
There's going to be a double lurk in towards halls too, so which one of the two players actually handles that? If it's CadiaN playing on like here, like that, this isn't going to work.
Well, they could move out of the doors.
They need to get aggressive out the doors, or they need to reposition.
Well, Device is starting to realize that move is required, but he immediately loses his head. So it's CadiaN in the clutch again, and this time unable to get anything going. So 11 rounds for Virtus.pro. They take the lead.
Yeah, that's a nice job. Flit over at the window. No defenders in middle, but he just takes a quick glance, and he's got 2 players along that wall. Nice and easy. Such a tough angle for the attack to deal with. Flit takes a lot of the strength out of the split with those kills. An Icy break in the smoke finds Stair just before he can disappear into B. Lovely round from Virtus.pro. Back into a lead.
That's like the best timing for Icy.
There's no money in the Astralis side of things. Stound 50, Abby 200, Stair 0. You lose this round as Astralis. Virtus.pro's at 12, and you've got scraps to fight with. Because you got no losing bonus built up. You're going to get $1,900 after this round.
Yeah, it may not have been the best CT side here from VP, but later on into regulation, they may have just found the way out. Gotta break this round, though.
Oh, it's happened again. And we've seen it all. We've seen it all. We know who the culprit is.
I mean, yeah, I'd be sad we've seen that.
I know. Yeah.
He was so sick, too. He was like, perfectly lined up with this little speck of dirt on the floor.
It's got the wrong spec.
Yeah. That was sick, though. I really like that. You know, you molly yourself in the tunnels, then you drift into the lower.
They were landing it. They were landing it the other day when we watched them as well, which is the real head scratcher. Is like you guys were hitting this just a day or two ago. I remember seeing it.
A lot can change.
So one up on Catwalk. It's CadiaN who's got tons of space in that sense.
30 seconds.
Yeah, one more in pit though. Will you expect Electronic? The answer's no.
Nope.
Oh, Trigger Discipline could win the day. They checked.
But he still gets 2, make it nearly 3. He held down mouse 1. Here's Icy in the site. Goodbye, Stown. Good night. As CadiaN has 18 seconds left to try and get to the bomb site. He actually has managed to find the pathway. So bomb picked up. He can go for the plant now, but oh, just seen Fame at short. Goes for the fight, and so close. But yet so far. And without a bomb plant, without the round victory, yep. Astralis, like you said, it's the nightmare scenario where the money's gone and VP are at map point.
Nice long setup as well. Baiting, Electronic baiting down in pit sets himself up perfectly for that double. If that second player isn't jumping and clearing pit at the same time, he just racks up 3 and he closes the round out himself. 12-10. Either way, he might have delivered the map over to Virtus.pro. As their third and final timeout comes in for Astralis because they've got to work out what they want to run with everyone sitting at around 2K of money coming into this. It's not going to be a pretty buy. Not a whole lot of weapons and resources. And you could see the reversal of the efficiency on Dust 2. This would make Astralis 1-8 and would make Virtus.pro 8-2. Impressive. Astralis is able to then play themselves back into this map and keep it close and challenge down the stretch, but close doesn't count, and when elimination is on the line, it's not really any kind of positive feeling that you were able to fight this hard. So let's see what they've come up with. Tech9's a MAC-10 on Stown, and towards the B bomb site we go.
Here comes the charge right into Fame, and he's got a second before his bullets run out. But it's Flit to come and make sure that he puts an end to this map. Astralis have one last chance, and it's heroics required here from Device. Electronic going to make sure Device does not even get a single kill. And Virtus.pro from a 9-3 half to nearly allowing the comeback from Astralis, but they get the job done right at the end. 13-10 on Dust 2.
Well, there we go. Virtus.pro takes Dust 2. It was their map pick. And if you watched the pre-game segment with Dust and Prof, you might have noticed that
Everything's a little soft.
Yeah, everything is it was a little weird at times on Dust 2. We saw some utility fumbling from the Astralis side of things. VP kind of had a few questionable rounds early on their T side as well, despite the fact that they racked up the scoreboard on it. So yeah, let's see what Train is going to be. I think it's quite a risk of Astralis to take it here in the sense that this map hasn't fully been figured out, and obviously teams still new on it, probably practice against each other. Sometimes
it's good to make a calculated risk, Jason.
Yeah, that's fair.
Straight out into the open. Electronic straight through the smoke. CadiaN's gone, and that plant is going to come through. Yabi confirming it, and Icy looking to just peek out from hell. Still stuck down in his position, and eventually enough bullets will be sent his direction that he no longer stands on his feet. So Astralis 4v4 post plant. Remember, VP have got a kit. It's available on the back of Flamus, who has just taken the head straight off Stown. Yabi up next, eventually going to be taken out himself. So Device out from Olaf. Smoke onto the bomb. Defuse can be stuck if they desire, but they're not sticking it because the kit's getting picked up at the moment by Flit and eventually Electronic to bring down Device.
Yeah, nice round from Electronic. It's his first kill just set from Z, just taking a blind shot through smoke. Finds that kill, but a nice cleanup at the end onto Device. Astralis could never really secure themselves safety for that post plant whatsoever. Really good job from Virtus.pro making they clear out the player in 6, putting a lot of attention on being able to wrap around into the bomb site. Yabi holds onto it for as long as possible. When Stown goes down, it's just a matter of time before Yabi can't hang on. A good push from Flamus. And pistol round for VP.
Well, bomb plant did come in for Astralis, so they could invest into this round, but they decide to throw a scout on CadiaN. And not much investment around it. Just upgraded pistols without Kevlar. Can be pretty effective though. If CadiaN gets some tags with a scout, then it'll soften them up to allow these pistols easier kills. And he's got one tag already. Straight away onto Flamus.
Yeah, just going to be so hard to find anything, especially in the early going when all the smokes are up in these choke points. Like, yeah, you have a scout. Yeah, you might have gotten a tag, but like, what are the Deagles really supposed to find after the fact? And even when these smoke clear, so many angles to be concerned about. Really tough on Train to just find these picks with pistols.
I'm glad we caught that Device body. The ragdoll just got blown out of the map completely on the Train.
It was good.
Look at that.
Hey, give it 10 points.
Yeah, he got the gold medal.
Oh, no. Oh, it's horrible.
It's okay. He's okay. Oh, no, his arm is definitely
definitely gone. Half the body ripped off.
See, I feel like that needs to be an update. We need more. We need more gruesome ragdolls at the end. All right, Flit, Shadow, spotted out towards T-Main. CadiaN trying to rip him off the top, and Yabi's turn. Kenny was like, go on, Yabi. You do it.
Yeah, this is just a losing effort all the way through, isn't it? Like, that's just way too strong of a position, and now the MP9 and Electronic gets close up. It's down the last remaining, so 2-0 for Virtus.pro to start out on Train. Without any kind of crazy investment, we will get a buy from Astralis in this third round. So AK-47's coming out. CadiaN might go back down to that scout like he had in the previous round. His investment prevents him from picking up an AK-47. This map has been played 5 times by Astralis for a 60% win rate. It's been played 4 times by Virtus.pro for a 50% win rate. So it's pretty even in terms of the proficiency these teams have shown on it thus far.
AK is on 4 for Astralis, Mac 10 for CadiaN, and Flamus, look at this aggression. Steps being hurt, he knows, and he holds down Mouse 1, and Flit takes all the glory.
What do you do now? 3 versus 5, and Utility still up in the choke points, and there's been plenty of time for those players, Flamus and Flit, to just fall back from Pop Dog and reconvene towards main.
Well, that's one way to get one of the kills back.
Yeah, actually, VP's got to be careful. The re-aggression, that little push into the smoke is like, you got a 2-man advantage. Why do you feel like you need to do that? Actually, now you've put everyone in a weird place. Device finds a nice timing. Oh, they could be in trouble. Icy not here at the right moment, and Device finds a pick. And now Electronic pinned down, forced to make a play forward.
Has to fight his way out of this. Fame getting caught as Device just kept moving forward into connector, and VP, you get a clean 2-man opener, you get away with it, and then you just throw everything back in Astralis' way. Now Flammers, he's got a chance to still win this round, but they've got the read, and Star's got the perfect position. I don't know how that round ended up being so easy for Astralis in the end.
Yeah, that's an ugly round played from Virtus.pro after the opening 2 kills. I don't know what's going on, but that's way too much proactivity and aggression. Like pushing through a smoke in a 5-on-3, losing a death that way, missing the timing on a Device coming out Pop Dog, so Icy gets picked off because he's already passed his crosshair. Electronics then in an impossible situation. All of it just seemed very, very gross. And it felt like that was a lovely opportunity for VP to get a really nice start. You know, start 3-0, got plenty of money in a 5-on-3, can close that out easily. It's just gone the other direction, and now they're on the verge of being reset. So it could still turn into a disaster. Those are the kind of rounds that's just like, man, I want to talk you up, VP. You know, like that's like a perfect glimpse of like why it's so hard to tell where this team is at, because there's just like they're
their own worst enemy.
The random boneheaded loss that could actually just throw this half into like into craziness.
Yeah, I mean, you were about to get the perfect start on the CT side. You win the pistol, second round conversion, first gun round's coming up, and you just destroy Astralis instantly in a Pop Dog push. Then you give it all back. Stair staying committed forward. Felt like he got a good timing in front of that utility, and Device just goes right through.
Such an odd peak for Flit, though. Had the information that they were just coming out main, and I don't know. Let's see what Electronic can do from here. Lined up against the wall right outside Pop, eats a flashbang, but they didn't spot him falling back to the bomb site. One player over in Pop as well for Virtus.pro's defense. Damn. Beautiful. Beautiful from Yabby.
He's got the good read as well to check over towards Pop. You got Fame currently positioned in there.
They're coming back to the B bomb site, and the player in Pop hears all that, so even though there was a Molotov, he's held at bay for the moment. You know, Yabby was in main, so the attack is a little bit split, but all the AKs are having success.
Yeah, and this, I think VP have just lost track of Astralis. They don't know where they are at the moment. They know the bomb's down at B, but there's still plenty of players here on the A bomb site. Flamus can't get away with it. Stown nailed the rotation. You know, we've seen Electronic come in, and as soon as he comes through that connector is the last-ditch effort to hold the B bomb site. Stown grabs that headshot. Yeah,
but I mean, for VP, like, look at the turnaround. That third round loss in the 5-on-3 is just so painful. You went from having the ideal start to a half, and perhaps setting yourself up for like a 5-0 beginning that you could really, really enjoy with tons of money, and to now running out of funds. All because you misplayed massively a 5-on-3.
And this round is going to be easy for Astralis. They're going to head into the lead, 3-2 on the T side, and building quite a nice buffer for themselves to kick the map off. Electronic tucked in the corner. And 3 kills come in for Astralis in the blink of an eye, making it 4.
All right, so a 3-2 lead for this T side. Losing bonus building up for Virtus.pro. Good kill from Yabby at the end. He had that lovely dust too for Astralis, so if he continues here on train, yeah, might actually be able to help them secure this map victory and take us to a third. 4 and 3 for Yabby in the early going. 6 kills on Device to start this train. Inferno being the deciding map in this series. If you're just joining us and missed map 1, it was a nice comeback in the second half, a very close loss, 13-10 in the favor of Virtus.pro. This is a series for a spot at the PGL Bucharest playoffs. The loser is eliminated from the event.
It's your last chance, do or die. Here in Bucharest, both teams would have wanted playoffs, but only one can have it. So many upsets this week. My favorite one so far has been the complexity win over FaZe.
Yeah, that was a nice one.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that one as well.
yeah, definitely unexpected. Flit with 2 kills holding onto the B bomb site, but we've seen them in this position before, Jason. You know, a 5v3?
They should be fine. You don't lose 2 this close to each other, surely. And this time, you could see the difference in philosophy. Last time, they were aggressive towards main, towards T main, pushing through the smoke, trying to get a cheeky angle, playing behind the smoke. Now they've just said, you know what? At 5-on-3, we really don't need to do any of that.
Yeah,
we've learned our lesson.
Yeah.
So we'll back off. We'll play it passively. We'll get a couple at the bomb train just to play behind. We'll give some real estate and let Astralis step forward into the trap that we can create.
Electronic pinned in the corner and Stown will fall. Only 1 kill so far from Astralis. It's thanks to Stary. He knows that Electronic's still in hell, but getting into that fight, impossible because he has to cross a boosted Flammis. And Device is now stuck with 5 seconds on the clock. Got to save that AK-47. He's got money in the bank, so he's going to try and fight out a little bit early here. Now getting spammed down. Does so much damage. Close to a kill, but not able to pick it up.
I actually don't know how he didn't get that kill. I thought for sure he was going to secure that one. The game just doesn't let him have it. 3-3, tied up as VP take a nice solid victory. Device saves the AK, drops it over to a teammate, picks up the AWP. Icy doesn't have that yet on the CT side. They can scavenge devices if they have a strong victory. Astralis throwing out the instant sandwich smoke, a barrage of HE grenades, 4 of them coming in towards T main, but Device is taking the op over towards Ivy. Wants to spend some time looking for a pick. They wanted to try and set up Stown, but that smoke for the moment has dissuaded them from moving forward. Virtus.pro has complete control of box halls inside and Pop Dog. They've got all the information in the world.
Yeah, I'll be mollying that Pop Dog push. And Icy and Ivy. Big flash into the peak. Double kill before traded. And with a minute left, Astralis have a 3v4 on the T side.
I think he even saw the additional 2 after he goes down. Like as he dies, the death cam shows off that Device and CadiaN are both there as well. Good peek from Fame.
Now they know that CadiaN's low. And the swing from Electronic to confirm the kill. Bomb down and Yabby in an impossible situation. VP go to 4-3.
I feel like that's a good round. I mean, I feel like Ivy on this map has been something I think that just doesn't get a whole lot of love from teams, just because look at when you put resources there, it's so hard to break in. So many angles you have to check, and throughout this entire way, you're susceptible to jiggle peeks with the AWP, susceptible to that flashbang thrown from the bomb site with safety that can set anyone up. It's a really dangerous place for the T side to bring multiple bodies.
CS2 Ivy doesn't feel as fun to play as CSGO Ivy. It feels like there's less options for you.
Even in CSGO Ivy, it feels like it was mostly left towards the end as like a lurk position. Like you weren't really throwing 2-3 players or like 3-4 players there to work it. You were kind of sending 1, maybe 2 to help
It's where
support.
you would go, put it this way, in your matchmaking games, when you solo queue, Jason, you would go there and just like try and become that late solo carry player through Ivy.
Oh, sure. Well, you know, it's solo queue, you can do whatever you want. Run out Ivy all you want, I don't care.
Yeah, rush Ivy.
Yeah, but professional level, you can't really mess with it. It just seems like a place on the map that's so far away from everything that it's just like you put resources there and then it hurts so much elsewhere on the map. Astralis, they play with it in this round and just get shut down. Nice flashbang, nice peek from Icy for the double. Round 8. Astralis getting to the end of the road in terms of their money. AK-47 on Device, 3 Galils, and a MAC-10 on CadiaN.
Icy, it's getting a little hairy now, so he backs out towards the ladder and will not fall immediately in the brown holes. So that's a positive for VP to get info, but also not to concede their AWPer. Electronic just jiggling into pop. CadiaN's actually moving in on that quite quickly, but held back behind the smoke. Feels like they're
it hasn't
forced
really
into the B hit now.
Yeah, it hasn't really changed anything in the round. Like, it's good for them to force back that pressure and jiggle from Electronic, but I mean, they're still kind of blocked over in box halls, not really wanting to go forward into the AWP that they saw earlier. But yeah, now they're kind of required to. All 5 players are here, and there's 3 defenders. You can just see how uncomfortable Stound's like, I'm gonna go check the flank for a little bit, I guess, because we can't really do anything with the smokes up anyways.
Oh, good flash from Electronic. Fame just peeks right into Yabby.
Yeah, this round has thrown all the hell. Really nice defense from Virtus.pro.
Kill comes back though. Fame hangs around inside of the smoke. Is that going to be enough for Astralis to dig themselves out of this hole? Stair would need to follow up quite quickly here. CadiaN's also gone down. Tough round still for Astralis. 25 seconds left. The final rotation's coming in. There's even a flank being set up here for Flit around the back. Icy's got another kill on Device. Stare down in the sights. Down left on default. Bomb not in his possession. Very slowly creeping down that ramp is Flit, so he's got that pick, no problem. 5-3 for VP.
You could tell this round was screwed. Like when all 5 players are there, more smokes come in. You see Stound kind of slipping back. It was like they missed the timing to where they felt like they could have hit it, and then the timing just turned into, we're just telegraphing the fact that all of us are coming to this B bomb site. You're blocked off, you're stalled out, again, susceptible to flashes, susceptible to peaks. Really nicely done from Virtus.pro. And with that victory, takes the economy away from Astralis. So basically what Virtus.pro have just kind of done with that win is moved past that early boneheaded 5-on-3 they lost that gave Astralis a chance to kind of get back into the early game. They've recovered from that, and they've basically limited the damage that round will do to just the 3 rounds on the board already for Astralis.
I mentioned Astralis' run at the tournament so far, but looking back at VP, some of the wins and losses they've taken, they kicked off the tournament with a massive upset, right? Rare Adam beating them 2-0, defeated Team Liquid and FURIA, lost to GamerLegion. None of their series have gone to 3 maps so far. It's either been a 2-0 defeat or a 2-0 victory. Maybe Astralis can change that today, but not looking like it at the moment.
Doing all right for this stage in the half. I just wonder if they're going to have what it takes to break through. You'd imagine they would, considering this is their map pick. They had to have been very confident in what they can bring to bear on the T side. Nice trade from Stound. Immediate Deagle headshot onto Electronic. Flit's kind of stuck out in the open, so Stound might have a chance to duel into this. Jiggling into the fight, and he's got another.
2 out from Stound, and Device gets another on the Deagle. So suddenly Astralis erupt with an opportunity at 30 seconds. The bomb's going to try and get back into the B bomb site, and there's no one here. So they're going to get the plant at least.
Yeah, you know Icy's the Ivy player, so good call from CadiaN to make this run. However, Flamus is going to hear these footsteps on Stound on the flank, who's got to be really cautious about Pop Dog. But can you get past? There's the peek. Ooh!
Very lucky.
You got a chance.
Gets the shot on the chest as well. Icy moving in, trying to get rid of CadiaN, who's so low on health. Icy eventually does so with the dual Berettas, and Stound having a fight on 2 fronts. Goes back to Flamus, got that kill. Now Icy into the site, and Stound disappears around Thomas. Icy silently slinks his way up the ladder. He's on top, right on top, but Stound's got the read, but the dual Berettas bear down on him, and the fist bumps come in. They still celebrate. And Icy, I mean, he does so much there.
Yeah, I mean, a good cleanup. I mean, I like the fact that Stound immediately turns to his teammate, is just positive and celebrating, because you get 4 kills, you get a bomb plant, and you gave yourself a chance at the round win. Beautiful kills from Stound. He's been quiet so far in this game, 4 and 7, but these Deagle shots, very loud. First that, a second one comes in later onto Flit. Device adds on top, and look at Stound as well. A chaotic situation working between 2 opponents. Almost wins it out. But he set Astralis up nicely by taking money away moving forward.
Oh, CadiaN through the smoke. Good start here for Flammers. Looking to try and continue some of that momentum from the previous round into here, but Electronic making sure VP keep numbers even. A lot of space taken inside of this A bomb site though for Astralis while the smokes are still up. Fame pushes out. He causes some problems here. CadiaN spotted next, but Astralis still fighting and cutting through the defense. 2v2 after the initial skirmishes, but all that utility's faded away. So there's no longer the cover of the smokes to make a plant feel comfortable, and the bomb still needs to be picked up. It's on the ground in the open. And with Device gone, it's all on CadiaN.
He's got time. He's got a minute to work with, so he can be patient.
He just doesn't have all the info of the whereabouts of the second player, but they walk into him, and Icy able to capitalize on the fact that CadiaN's health was dropped to half.
Oh man, this is really getting ragged now for Astralis. 2 rounds remaining in this first half. No plant that round, but they still got money for a buy. Can still pick up AK-47s, but not having nearly the production on this T side they would like. Really, I mean, now it starts to feel like it's just been really dominant for Virtus.pro, and if it weren't for the one hiccup in round 3, this could be Virtus.pro just at an even more dominant scoreline. Utility out yet again for Astralis, another instant window smoke, or I mean, sandwich smoke. Windows and sandwiches are completely different. Flit's gonna be playing there, swings in as the smoke is broken open, and wants a little bit more aggression, but a late flashbang catches him, and now Astralis can push forward.
Electronic speed, really effective in terms of getting those kills back, but didn't find himself the opportunity to equalize here.
Oh, Astralis is actually using the defensive smokes against Virtus.pro because there's no information being found, so they've moved around the map and are going to attack from different angles, and Device has the winning play.
I love this, through the back lines.
He's not a guy to go for a knife, but he could go for a knife.
Is that what you want, Jason?
I kind of do.
I want him to take the kill.
Get the knife.
Flamus, sound cute. Give it away, Device to take the pick. 1 minute left, he can either go back to B or try and split the A bomb site, as they've actually backtracked and are going to go through Pop instead.
Yeah, I think he called for them to rotate back because he could flank the B bomb site, but they just said, no, we're coming out Pop. And I mean, either option is going to be very strong. Device has a jump on Icy, gives the position out to Stown, who cleans him up. 4th round, Astralis putting another good round on the board. 1 final round remaining in Virtus.pro's caches. It's there. They can get a strong buy, but they're going to be some bells and whistles have to be downgraded. M4 on Icy and 4 MP9s for utility.
Here's quick from Star. Straight out towards the E-box, couldn't get the second kill, nor could Yabby. Flit outmatches 2 AKs with his little MP9. 4v3 here for Virtus.pro, and Fame comes through Pop. Surely he gets the line up here, and he does. It's going to be 8 rounds on the CT side unless Stown can pull a 1v3, and he gets peaked immediately. MP9's looking strong for VP to round out an 8-4 half.
Yeah, this time they can't even get out of the staging area of that T-yard, right? They're not even getting past the slanted train. Past Olaf. Those MP9s shut him down, chew him up. Virtus.pro with a 4-round lead as we go into halftime, switching sides. 11 kills on Flit and Icy to lead the way for Virtus.pro. On the Astralis side of things, it's Device up at 10 and Stare at 9 as your top 2 fraggers for the Danish team. Train being Astralis' map pick, and they're going to switch over to defense and show us what they can do. Virtus.pro haven't played this map in an official since I Am Katowice back at the end of February.
Long time ago.
It's been a minute, hasn't it?
That's where they made the
Excuse
playoffs.
me, early February.
That's where they made the playoffs and couldn't play with Flamus.
Yeah, that's where they played this map as well. It was the quarterfinals.
So they haven't even played it with this roster.
Yeah, they haven't even played it with this roster, I guess. Flamus wasn't there. Mir was substituted in. They lost the map 13-2 to Team Spirit on their run to the final. So they've had plenty of time to work on it, is what I'm saying, Dinko. Plenty of times to know all the smokes.
Now let's see. We've got plenty of smokes in this pistol. Electronic and Fame with 2. Molotov for Electronic with a flash beside it.
Very heavy defense at the inner bomb site. 2 at the upper ramp, 1 way far back inside. Device just looking at the lower ramp. Abby and Stare primed to kill some players as they try and cross into the bomb site. You got Stown peeking Ivy. CadiaN playing at Hell. For Virtus.pro, spread out in a default, not a single piece of aggression so far. They've got 2 smokes, a flash, and a Molotov to use on the execute when they choose to pull it in. If they head to the A bomb site, they've got the space to work with, right? With how passive they're playing, it's only CadiaN with any eyes out towards Yard. Virtus.pro have a lot of room to scale up to the bomb train and at least get a plant.
25 seconds. That's all they've got left to make the final thrust forward into the bomb site. Stown slowing them down. 2 shots in, but Icy back to back with the P250. 15 seconds, get into the bomb site. Device stops that bomb from making it across, and now it comes down to kills. Flit's got to leap in. He could save the day if he gets that bomb back now, but he's just got enough time if he starts it, but it might be
I think
close.
he's got it. He's got it.
Oh, just about final tick on it. Device 1v2 clutch with a USP required. We know this is his comfort zone, but can he get it done?
8 shots.
He usually only needs a few, but Fame to peek into the open, Device to go down, and that last second plant saves the round for VP.
That's a huge pistol round for Virtus.pro. Hard fought as well. Good kills from Icy to have the rebuttal. Stown gets 2 beautiful shots, and you got to feel so good if you're one of the Astralis players rotating over as you're watching your teammate hold down the fort, and then 2 in return so quickly. Right here. P250, 2 taps, 2 kills. Didn't have the timing on when that smoke was going to fade, though. Got a little bit weird, but Virtus.pro with the pistol round victory have primed themselves to be able to have an easy waltz to a 2-0 series. They've got to get past this second round bye, but if they do that, the reward is exponentially better.
Oh, takes a dink on board. Fame no longer wants to commit to that secondary. Oh, fight! Oh my God! It's so. How has he done it? How has he got away with a second before he kills himself?
I don't know. So heroic, but with that death and with CadiaN adding a deagle shot, we've got a 3-on-3. Players from Virtus.pro scaling up towards the bomb train. Those back calls smoked off behind Ivy. Icy coming in, and Stare can stop the bomb. Ooh, this would be a tough shot.
It would be, especially now he's taking a few steps back.
Yeah, you can't really stop it. You might be able to slow it down.
Speaking of slowing down, VP do exactly that. They don't like how chaotic it is at the moment, and they realize they've got a minute on the clock.
They actually don't know what's happening. They actually don't know where Astralis truly is. I mean, this is kind of a pause, and everyone look for someone pushing. Everyone look for something. They're in relatively safe positions as well. Flamus over at Heaven, or under Heaven, I should say, behind the bomb train. You've got E-Box player. You've got Flit, who's been working Pop Dog now towards inner just to chuck a fake. So wants Astralis to feel like they're going to be walking down lower ramp behind this smoke, but nobody's biting on it.
"19 seconds.
Oh, he can stop it.
Oh, he can stop it! Oh, body shots just at the last second. Get that kill. So now the bomb can be picked up once more. Flip protecting, but once again, they have to cancel the plant. Comes down to a 1v1. Gotta get that bomb again. 4 seconds. Now it's about the kill. He's run out of time. Stare just hides away. And in doing so, has won the round. Flit will get the kill at the end, but VP running the time down, losing track of the bomb, and Astralis given one to play with.
And not having the resources, not having the manpower to watch every single angle. That position, I thought maybe it could only slow down the bomb. Yeah, the Electronic just can't believe the way you lose that one. He's just like,
that's so frustrating.
It's like, help me, Jesus. Help me.
Why do we always only have 4 seconds to plant the bomb? The last round, the previous round, they win. but they planted literally the... Oh,
and after that from Electronic, you drop a Molotov like this.
Yeah, not the best rounds back to back.
Okay, yeah, a little bit of mental breaking on the VP side of things.
Right, so take a breathe. No, breather? Breathe?
Take a breathe.
Take a breathe.
Take a breath.
I combined 2 words into one there. Take a nice little breather. Sit back. And get into the fights as Device is pushed all the way up the stairs.
Not too much of a breather. This is a dangerous round with these Tech 9s. There's a little bit of, there's a few smokes on top of it. If Sound pushes into this, Electronic has the read of the possibility. Does he just hold this angle, pushes out a little bit more? Sound doesn't want that fight, not against the Tech 9.
Electronic wants it though.
Well, this would be huge information. If he can find out Stair is here without dying. So smoke on the stairs and they back off because Astralis decide to execute an Ivy push in the mid-round. That's CadiaN progressing towards T-spawn right now. He'll have a good timing on this wrap. They need to delay inside the bomb site. Stair coming back through Pop.
Ooh. Here they come though, double peeking in towards him. He does a lot of damage, but not a kill from Stair. 20 seconds left on the clock. VP are going to try and finish B this time. But Astralis have 2 players here, so this is still very solid for Astralis. There might be a situation where they can run the clock down, make it messy towards the end here for VP. As Yabby's waiting for that cross. They're trying to plant, and will it be denied? Icy trying to get away with it. This time the bomb does go down, and CadiaN will give his position away coming down ramp. 2 remaining players, both low, but Electronic peeks to the open.
That's a crazy round to win considering how things started for Virtus.pro getting locked in T-spot, and you feel like they've just got to be so angry. This is earlier, that second round. Here's the
I think he said plant.
Yeah, it's the most calm reaction you'll see.
Yeah, that was pretty chill.
Yeah. You could see that there is some frustration.
He got the point across.
Yeah, he did. But obviously, I think this year of lack of results after Katowice maybe getting to him, maybe obviously the stress of the round and the situation in an elimination game.
Dude, I don't know how you make mistakes in VP if that's your in-game leader. I'd be so scared to miss anything.
And then imagine being the guy who mollies them all in T-spawn in the next round after that.
Oh, dude, I would never want to piss off Electronic. I'll tell you that. Well, Electronic won the next round, so he channeled his anger.
Look, I guarantee everyone's focused up in this round.
Yeah, by fear of their life.
Inside rush. Astralis getting back in time, but they've only got pistols. So the AKs should be able to do quick work. Electronic just being like, you know what, let's take decision-making out of my players' hands. Let's just get him into the bomb site real quick, and everyone knows what to do from there.
Yeah, leading by example at the moment, Electronic. He's taking a headshot straight away onto CadiaN. And we're looking 11 rounds in the eye right now for VP. But Stown looking to be a little nuisance in around the smokes. Well, not seeing too much though. And as soon as he may have caught the pixel, flash hits his face and Flamus pushes forward. Tough situation here for Astralis for that round to go so convincingly the other way.
Tough situation. I mean, what they did by winning that one round was just kind of delaying this sort of a nightmare. But Virtus.pro, they always had this economy in a position where you'd be up at 10 with the chance to break them out against a low buy. So, I mean, if you're Astralis, you forced everything in. 2 pistols get taken away from you at the end. All you save is a 5.7 in armor on Device. You know if you're VP coming into this round, the best they can do is pistol armor. And Astralis have one of those nightmare decisions where you can't really criticize it either way, whatever they choose to do. You either save now and try and make a 7-round comeback with weapons, or you force buy and still give try and give yourself a chance to win in regulation still by winning a miraculous low buy round. No good options available to them. And their map pick has not gone the way they desire. This would be a tough loss and playoffs denied in a moment where they're trying to build some confidence heading into the MRQ next week to qualify for the Austin Major.
Dink and a kill here for Device. Not a bad start to the round for that 5-7.
And if you're heading into the event as Astralis and you didn't make playoffs here, after Lisbon especially,
yeah,
that's a huge bummer. But not only that, like you've picked Train in this series and now you feel like your map pool hasn't really been fleshed out the way you would have liked. Maybe not the confidence as deep as you'd like on some maps. And you're going into really difficult, annoying online Counter-Strike. Good luck.
With huge ramifications.
Good luck, boys. Good luck and Godspeed.
Good luck. Have fun. Star are not going to have much fun in this round. USP to defend against Virtus.pro, who are coming towards him with every single remaining member.
Flitz on 1 health, so he's basically a flank watcher, a supportive element. But if these deagles ring out and do too much damage, he's going to be forced into the action.
Or if VP forget to plan.
Well, no, if they don't watch the flank, which is why I highlighted Flit. Like, I have to imagine that 1 HP player is going to be real aware of the fact that he's probably the one that you're not going to have a whole lot of impact on the front end of the attack, but if you can be the guy helping out on the back end, there's great value in that. Good call from VP, booking it all the way through CT to the inner bomb site. Running down that clock yet again, but getting the plant with plenty of time.
Well, they eventually get Flit. But map and series point.
That was the dumbest fight. With 1 health, it's just...
I'm going to fight the USP.
Everything just felt so weak.
Yeah. Series point, though, for VP. Elimination point for Astralis.
Yeah, and this would be Virtus.pro returning to the playoffs of an S-tier event for the first time since Katowice, and we'll get to see them with their full lineup this time.
Yeah.
Thankfully, not able to see these 5 guys step into a playoff match yet, with Mir playing for Flammus back in Katowice. But for all the praise that gets, I mean, Virtus.pro up and down, but I think there's a lot of praise for how good it looks when it's going well. There are times where you watch VP and you're like, oh, they're getting it. Like, it's coming together.
Yeah, you see the potential. You get glimpses of the potential. You just want to see it more consistently. All right, Astralis, it was called a bit of a risk to pick into Train today. Certainly looking like that risk did not pay off. And one last hurrah. Stone's actually pushed up into T-main. It's not a bad spot to have this early in the round. But can't maintain it. Needs to be more active elsewhere. So jiggling now towards Pop.
Little lurk smoke out teammate as well that VP can utilize is going to make Astralis' defense nervous. So is that challenge down towards Yabi, brought to 50 HP and has to pull stare back through Z. Lurk over towards Ivy, that's Flit. Device is dead.
Yeah, he definitely is. Flit catches the gap. 50 seconds on the clock. 4v5 to try and stay alive and stare on the double kill. Yabi follows suit, and this is not over yet.
Great timing on that for Astralis. VP took a very long time without really showing presence on the map. Really, Flit's lurk was the only active stage of it. Box controls with 3, but you held it for so long into the round that Astralis was sick of waiting. Not enough eyes spread out to hold back that push. And Virtus.pro going to be held off of a series victory, held away from the playoffs for at least another round. Plenty of money for Virtus.pro to buy back up and try again. But if you're Astralis, attempting this comeback, 4 players surviving is exactly what you need. Upgraded to 4 AK-47s as well. So things are looking great on the Astralis side for everything outside of the scoreboard, that is.
Yeah,
that part kind of sucks still.
And that really doesn't look that good at all.
It's going to be a minute before that starts looking better.
First timeout used for Virtus.pro. So far for this entire map, it's just been electronic. Pashnoi getting his say now.
He's got a smile on his face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's 12-6 up. About
True.
the end of the playoffs.
That's a good point. It's just trying to relieve the tension. He's like,
Yeah.
he's probably just told a little joke.
Yeah, he's like,
Hey, I've been
everyone's thinking of this one.
Everyone's a little clammed up. Let me throw a dad joke in there in this timeout.
As long as it wasn't a joke about planting the bomb.
Yeah, stay away from certain subjects. Here we go. Round 19. Icy's Op gonna go for an early peek, and he's got the kill. Device just peeks out before that smoke plumes and sandwich, and that's an early advantage for VP.
Back-to-back frustrating rounds here for Device. He got
Yes.
flanked from Flit in the last round, instantly taken down in the start of this one. Stalin pushing into main again. This time actually goes to the smoke.
And actually, I mean, I don't mind the risk at this point. And it's worked out beautifully. Flit might just be a free kill. Oh, is he clearing? Is he this aware?
Dude, if he clears this. Oh, Mike, he does more than clear it, Jason. I'm so mad if I'm down.
That's what a lifetime of being a solo player will do to you. You're just paranoid about everything at all times.
You trust no one.
Okay, is he going to check the bomb train? Is he going to be ready for CadiaN's fight? Close to Z, sees nobody. Wrapping around, all down to timing of where CadiaN's peeking. Oh,
CadiaN
Flit.
gone. Flit is just taking them through.
He's won the game. He's just booked Virtus.pro's ticket to the playoffs.
Icy goes down on the cross. A little bit of a gap here for Yabby to play with. Goes out again, but Flit wins that fight as well. 20 kills, 8 deaths. What a map from Flit, and he even closes it with the HE grenade. Virtus.pro heading into the playoffs. This is